Hello. Today we will be discussing the disqualifications of an auditor which are given under section 141 subsection 3 of the Companies Act. So basically a body corporate or except then an LLP cannot be are disqualified from being appointed as an auditor. So what is the meaning of a body corporate? A body corporate means a company and it has limited liability. Okay. So why can't a body corporate or a company be appointed as an auditor? Because the liability of the members of the company is restricted to the amount of the unpaid value of the shares. And they don't have unlimited liability. So if anything goes wrong, no action can be taken against the members because of their limited liability. Then why can a limited liability partnership be appointed as an auditor? So in the limited liability partnership, at least one of the partners has unlimited liability. So if anything goes wrong, that partner can be held responsible. And the second disqualification is an officer or an employee of the company cannot be appointed as an auditor. Officer means any full-time director, a key managerial person, or person who is in full-time employment of that company. For example, secretary or the CEO, CFO, COO of the company. They cannot be appointed as the auditor of a company. The reason being that they cannot give independent opinion on the financial statements. Then a partner or employee of an officer or employee of the company. मतलब कंपनी के जो डायरेक्टर हैं या ऑफिसर हैं उनके एम्प्लॉयज या फिर उनके पार्टनर्स, ये मतलब चाहे कंपनी मेन होल्डिंग कंपनी हो, सब्सिडियरी कंपनी हो, एसोसिएट कंपनी हो या फिर सब्सिडियरी ऑफ द होल्डिंग कंपनी हो, ऐसे किसी भी कंपनी के जो डायरेक्टर्स हैं या ऑफिसर्स हैं उनके पार्टनर्स या उनके एम्प्लॉयज कैन नॉट बी अपॉइंटेड एज द ऑडिटर ऑफ अ कंपनी. The reason being that though they are not directly connected, but indirectly they are involved, and hence their opinion cannot be independent, means they don't remain independent person. क्योंकि जब भी auditor के qualifications देखे जाते हैं तो he should be an independent person. So somewhere he won't be independent. Directly connected नहीं हैं लेकिन indirect connection रहने की वजह से they won't be they are not independent persons. Then a person who or his relative or partner is holding any security or interest in the company, they are also disqualified from being appointed as the auditor of the company. So here first let us understand the meaning of relative. Relative means the chartered accountant, the auditor himself or herself, the auditor and the spouse of the auditor. स्पाउस के भी पेरेंट्स या ऑडिटर के खुद के पेरेंट्स, फिर ऑडिटर या ऑडिटर के स्पाउस के ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स, देन सन एंड डॉटर इन लॉ एंड डॉटर एंड सन इन लॉ, ये सब रिलेटिव के डेफिनेशन में आते हैं. उसी तरीके से यदि हम HUF की बात करें तो एनी मेंबर ऑफ द HUF will come in the definition or purview of relative. And stepmother, stepfather, stepbrother, stepsister, and stepson, all these also come in the definition of relative. So a person who or his relative or partner is holding any security and or interest in a company is disqualified from being appointed as an auditor. But there is an exception. Matlab, the person, if himself he is holding the security, then he cannot be appointed as an auditor. But in case of relative, there is an exception that if the relative is holding security equivalent to rupees 1 lakh or less than 1 lakh, then the person can be appointed as an auditor. And if at all at any time this limit of rupees 1 lakh is exceeded, then the corrective measures can be taken by the auditor within 60 days. Then in the same way, a person or his relative or partner is indebted in excess of rupees 5 lakh towards the company, its subsidiary company, its holding company, or associate company, or subsidiary of its holding company. In the same way, if a person or his relative or his partner has given guarantee or provided any security in connection with the indebtedness in excess of rupees 1 lakh towards the company, associate company, holding company, a subsidiary company. In that case, also that person is disqualified from being appointed as an auditor. Then a person or a firm, whether directly or indirectly, has business relationship of any nature. यदि ऑडिट उस कंपनी के साथ वो पर्सन का या वो फर्म का कोई बिजनेस रिलेशनशिप है उस कंपनी के साथ, तो दैट पर्सन और दैट फर्म कैन नॉट बी अपॉइंटेड एज एन ऑडिटर, बट देर आर सम एक्सेप्शंस टू इट. एक if under the service the person or a firm has agreed to render the services of an auditor, तो वो एक एक्सेप्शन में आएगा. एंड इन नॉर्मल कोर्स ऑफ बिजनेस कुछ सर्विसेज रेंडर किए जा रहे हैं या कुछ सर्विसेज ली जा रही हैं, बट उसका कोई डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन बाकी की चीजों से नहीं है, तो इन दैट केस ये एक ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन नहीं रहेगा, हिंड्रेंस नहीं रहेगा फॉर द अपॉइंटमेंट एज एन ऑडिटर. जैसे जिस कंपनी का ऑडिट कर रहे हैं उस कंपनी के होटल्स हैं, तो उस होटल में यदि आप रहने जा रहे हैं तो दैट कैन नॉट बी सेड टू बी इन बिजनेस विद, बिकॉज यू आर टेकिंग द सर्विसेज. और ऐसा नहीं है कि वो आपको किसी डिस्काउंटेड प्राइस पे या कुछ और तरीके से वो सर्विस आपको दी जा रही है टू टेक सम अनरीजनेबल एडवांटेज. Then the next disqualification is that if his relative or is a director or any person, any employee in that company. मतलब जो ऑडिटर जिसको अपॉइंट करना है उनके कोई रिलेटिव उस कंपनी में डायरेक्टर हैं, तो in that situation that person cannot be appointed as the auditor. Then if that person who is to be appointed as an auditor is in full time employment somewhere else, यदि वो कहीं और full time job कर रहे हैं तो he cannot be appointed as an auditor for this company. Then if the auditor has already is working in the capacity as an auditor for 20 companies, यदि 20 कंपनीज में मतलब वो 20 में उनके वो क्या सब्सिडियरी कंपनी वगैरह, तो ऐसी 20 कंपनीज में यदि वो काम कर रहे हैं, 20 ग्रुप्स ऑफ कंपनीज लेट अस से, तो देन ही कैन नॉट बी अपॉइंटेड एज एन ऑडिटर. The next disqualification is that if the person has been convicted for any fraud, and then though he has been released, but a period of 10 years has not elapsed from that conviction, then in that case he cannot be appointed as an auditor. Then if the person is engaged in rendering any specialized services, in that case also such a person means individual or the firm, the person cannot be appointed as an auditor of any company. And if any case situation when any of these disqualifications are found, it is presumed that the office of the auditor has become vacant, and this is known as casual vacancy. Okay. So एनी डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन जितने भी अभी हमने डिस्कस किए इनमें से कोई भी प्रकार का डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन यदि ऑडिटर के पास का हो जाता है तो इमीडिएटली मींस ही वोंट बी सर्व्ड एनी नोटिस टू वेकेट द ऑफिस. द ऑफिस ऑफ द ऑडिटर विल बी वेकेटेड immediately.